Next week, I'm heading back to Thailand. This won't be my first trip if you know me, and it probably won't be my last. But I've realized something over the years. The reason I go to Thailand, it's completely changed. When I first went, I was looking for techniques. I wanted better kicks. I wanted to learn how to elbow. I didn't even know how to elbow, and I later found out I needed to learn how to clinch. I wanted to become a better fighter, and more than anything, I wanted to experience Muay Thai from the source. That was the biggest reason. Now, looking back now, we're almost 2 decades into this on my journey, and visiting more times than I can honestly count off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and look at my passport. This time I'm looking for something completely different. I'm now watching how Muay Thai itself is changing. I'm watching the stadiums, the promotions, the gyms, the fighters, the overall culture for Muay Thai, because Thailand has never stood still, and neither has Muay Thai. So today, I want to share exactly what I'll be paying attention to while I'm there, and why I think it matters to all of us, whether you've been to Thailand or not.
Episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com. Authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of the Nok Muay. Go check it out.
I want to talk about Black Room at Deep Studios. If you enjoy the content of this podcast, you will definitely enjoy the value that you get out of the Black Room and being a member of the Black Room. What it is it's a subscriber-based way to support the podcast. If you enjoy the podcast and want it to continue, I'm asking for your help. And in exchange, you're going to get an underground view of Muay Thai, American Muay Thai, as well as within Thailand. We have people who are now working on the ground in Thailand that are helping us get media, content, all that stuff. We're posting it there on Black Room, as well as behind the scenes footage of the podcast recordings when we're recording. After I stop recording for stuff that we broadcast, we put some subscriber-based only content on there. So you're going to really get a lot of value out of that subscription. Okay, it's not just supporting the podcast. We also have podcast subscriber-only merchandise that's coming out as well here in 2024. So you have to be a part of the Black Room in order to get access to that. So I'm asking you for your help on that, but I know that it's not so much of you helping me. It's going to be us giving you a ton of value that you're going to get and just enjoy it. And it's only $5 a month. All right, you can cancel it anytime. Every little bit counts. Please go join it. The link is down in the show notes. All right. Anyways, sit back and enjoy the show. So what do you got? My name is Jonathan Pu'u. I'm the founder of Pu'u Muay Thai and the host of the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast that you're watching and listening to. I've been involved in Muay Thai for close to 2 decades now as a student, fighter, coach, gym owner, event promoter, and ring official. Every trip to Thailand teaches me something unique and different, something new. Sometimes it's a technique, but more often these days, it's more of a shift in perspective. I've left Thailand before leaving and feeling very upset. I felt happy, I felt sad, I felt excited, all these things. But it's usually always that shift in perspective that I'm always looking for. In this trip, I'm intentionally going with my eyes open to observe, not necessarily to train. I'm actually still nursing a knee injury that hasn't healed the way I'd hoped. So this will actually be my first trip to Thailand where training isn't my main focus. And honestly, that's kind of hard for me, if you know me. And maybe that's exactly what I needed, to be honest. It's forcing me to pay attention to things I probably would have missed before. All right, being 38 years old, doing this, the first time I went to Thailand, I was 18. With that, people ask me all the time, and you might be wondering, why do you still go back to Thailand? Is it for the lady boys? Okay, first, I've been hearing that joke for almost 20 years now. Okay, I get it. Second, after almost 20 years in Muay Thai, shouldn't I already know what I need to know? But the answer is pretty simple. Muay Thai isn't static. Thailand isn't static. The people change. The gyms change. The stadiums change. The sport changes. as we've talked about here. And every trip gives me another layer of understanding that I can bring back to our students, our coaches, our events, and all of you listening to this podcast. It's also important to maintain a global perspective. Bangkok is essentially the Hollywood of Muay Thai. And if you want to understand where the sport is heading, you have to spend time where the biggest conversations are happening and being developed. This is where the movers and shakers are. Over the past 2 decades, I found that there's no better way to gain that perspective than by being there in person. Don't get me wrong, online streams, all that stuff has come a long way, but being there in person is different. This trip isn't about finding secret techniques. It's about asking better questions. How are gyms developing? How are gyms developing fighters? How are trainers teaching? And has that changed? What traditions are still strong as ever? What new ideas are emerging? And what ideas deserve to come home with us? And what traditions should probably stay exactly as they are? I'm far less interested in collecting techniques today. Don't get me wrong. I love to learn. I know I'll learn every time. I'm always going to pick up something. But I'm much, much more interested in understanding why things are done the way they are. One thing I've learned over the years is Muay Thai never stops evolving. Some changes are obvious, right? Here's one that really stands out to me. Years ago, if a fighter had a nagging injury, you'd often still see them out doing road work in their shitty running shoes. The trainers might even give them a little hard time for being slow, even if their foot's fucked up. Today, you'll sometimes see a well-known fighter getting picked up early on a motorbike on the run so they can recover properly and spend that energy on technical work instead. Recovery has become part of the conversation, and that's a fascinating shift. I've talked about it here before, and I still find it fascinating. Other changes are much more subtle. For example, women are now stepping into the rings at Rajadamnern and Lumpini Stadium. To someone who's newer to Muay Thai within the past 5 to 6 years, that might not seem like such a huge deal, but if you've been around the sport for a while, you know just how significant that change really is. This trip, I'll be paying attention to those obvious changes and the subtle ones, or doing my best, right? What's different from my last visit? What's exactly the same? And what lessons can I bring home without losing what makes Muay Thai unique? One place I'm always excited to revisit is Rajadamnern Stadium. And I don't think many people realize just how dramatically it's changed over the last 15 years, especially the past 7 years. The first time I walked into Rajadamnern was back in 2010, and it felt like stepping into the heart of authentic Muay Thai. The gamblers were going crazy. The punters, the whole gambling pit was insane. Every fight had gamblers. That was the whole thing. You could walk into the warm-up area while fighters were wrapping their hands, or even while another fighter was being carried out on a stretcher. Like that was normal. If you had a VIP pass, you can go in there. Ringside was VIP. And the lighting felt vintage. The food options were pretty much peanuts, popcorn, soda, and maybe an instant coffee. They had some food vendors there outside that aren't there anymore. And it wasn't polished, but it had character. You'd see the fighters running up at weigh-ins in the morning, running around the upstairs part to cut weight. It was just more run down. You could tell it'd been there for a very long time. There was a whole bit of vintage vibe to it. But today, Rajadamnern has become a world-class venue. It's an entertainment venue. It's awesome. It's amazing. They have the 3D dome up on the ceiling, all the amazing lights, chug cam, dance cam, all this stuff to make it like a modern sports experience. Along with modern production, beautiful lighting, international audiences, and international live streams, that's not just on Thai TV, clean facilities, English commentary, shout out to Joe Comerford, food and drinks delivered to your seat, right? Used to be only VIP got that, and it was just the peanuts, popcorn, and instant coffee and some soda. The warm-up room is no longer part of the spectator experience either. You can't go back there. It's sectioned off. And neither version is inherently right or wrong. But I find myself asking, what have we gained? What have we lost? And where does Muay Thai go from here? What is going to happen with the sport? What other changes are coming? What's coming back to return? What's evolving? And it's not just Rajadamnern Stadium. I'm looking at stadium scene as a whole. Who's in the audience? Are locals still coming to all the stadium fights? RWS, or like the more the entertainment style of fights. Are we still getting the punters in there? And I know certain nights still attract more of the punters than others, but how much of the audience is just truly an international audience? Are we seeing more Americans there, more Westerners? How are promoters adapting beyond production in English commentary? What style of fighting and fight styles are being rewarded? We've seen one championship encourage a very forward, aggressive style with the small MMA gloves, and at the same time, RWS has largely maintained a style that still feels much more like traditional and authentic Muay Thai, while making it more accessible to modern audiences. And it's an interesting balance, really. I like both because at the end of the day, Muay Thai is still prize fighting. It's entertainment. It's the show business. Promotions don't survive on tradition alone. They survive on putting butts in seats. So where the audience goes, the money follows. And where the money goes, the sport usually adapts. And that's something that's worth paying attention to. And this might actually be what fascinates me the most, is not the combinations, not power, culture, what's going on stadiums. It's, or how many foreigners are training today, right? That's a big telling point of the sport, is how many foreigners are training today in the gyms compared to 10 to 15 years ago. Are young Thai fighters trying to improve their English more than before? Has road work changed? Are traditional gyms embracing more strength and conditioning? Are trainers still producing fighters, or are they increasingly, producing experiences for tourists? With Muay Thai becoming the whole soft power for tourism, I'm sure there's more and more gyms popping up. My last visit, end of last year, I saw this too. Like I see more and more every time. Is the discipline still staying the same? Like I was talking about with the fighters and how they're being treated on the road work. Those little observations, they often teach me far more than any learning experience in pad work or pad drill or training experience could ever teach me. Another thing I'll be watching closely is how Muay Thai continues to evolve competitively. Authentic scoring, like traditional stadium scoring versus entertainment scoring. 3 rounds, 5 rounds, the different style gloves, boxing gloves, small gloves. We've been talking about all these topics here on the podcast too, but I always like to see what's going on. Like you look in the seats in the audience, that's going to tell you a lot. But there's nothing like seeing them firsthand and talking with the people who are living through these changes every day, to talk to the fighters, right? One question I'm especially curious about is this: what do young fighters dream about now? I know a lot of them are talking about one championship. If you're Thai, they're looking at one championship. Do they still dream about becoming champions at Ratchadamnern on RWS? And there's talks about the Lumpini belts coming back. Like, is Lumpini on the table too? Or has one championship just become the new dream, the go-to dream? And that answer says a lot about where the sport is heading, right? I've seen it time and time again. People are wanting one championship, in Thailand at least. I joke that, I'm a Muay Thai addict also when I'm going to Thailand, because sometimes and oftentimes I'll watch 4 or 5 or maybe even 6 events in a single weekend. So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 events. Yes, it's like that. This trip is a little bit shorter, but I've already got 5 or 6 events on my radar for the week. So I'm not going to be, I'll probably go like 3 or 4 on a weekend, the other 2 throughout the week. And finally, I'm interested in the international influence on Muay Thai. They just had the amazing Muay Thai festival that was there in Thailand. We have a lot of foreigners coming there. The rules are being enforced as they're written. That's something that wasn't happening before. The sport has never been more global than now. Hence why we have the global Muay Thai roundtable, right? That way you get the perspective from different parts of the globe. Fighters are coming from every corner of the world. We're seeing the RWS champions, like, one of the most dominant ones right now is from France. International promotions are also continuing to grow, like RWS. And just last weekend, we saw an American promotion hold an event in Bangkok featuring U.S. title fights. 20 years ago, I would have said, like, what universe are you in? That would have just said almost impossible to me, because, like, why would Americans be on Thai TV back then? That's why I would have been thinking, like, this live stream stuff wasn't as popular. And foreigners are training in Thailand in greater numbers than ever before. Like I said, they call it a soft power as part of a tourism push. I'm going there next week with a group. And we're seeing Western brands manufacturing equipment in Thailand as well. Like, look at Ghost Brand. That's exciting. But also raises interesting questions. How is the rest of the world influencing Muay Thai in Thailand? Because like I said, you're seeing the rules enforced as they're written finally. More and more of it. And some people were getting pissed off about it because they're like, hey, like, we like those sweeps. We like those things. We like those fouls. I get it. Right. And with how just the overall arc in tourism and we'll call it Muay tourism is affecting it. Right. It's not just the other way around. How's Thailand affecting the rest of the world? I think one of the biggest conversations happening in Muay Thai today is this topic as well, is how is the Western world influencing Muay Thai in Thailand? You know, if you look at it, Muay Thai before, Thais, like working class, high class Thais, they weren't really doing Muay Thai unless they came from the Muay Thai industry. They're doing judo, taekwondo, karate, jiu-jitsu. But now Muay Thai is becoming a popular thing. So that's, of course, influencing Thailand a bit, especially for pop culture. One thing I've learned is every time I go to Thailand, though, I spend so much time looking for what's changing that I have to remind myself to appreciate what's stayed exactly the same. The Waiku Ram Muay. I'll go look for the old vintage shit that's at Rocherdamnen Stadium, the old stadiums. You know, the music before the fights, the smell of the liniment in the gym, the rhythm of the pads, hearing the bell for the round bell that's at the gym. Some gyms still use the manual bell. The trainers joking with one another, calling each other fat. The little food stalls outside in the street that have been going away slowly, like I was talking about at Rocherdamnen Stadium, and a lot of other places too. This industry that made Thailand and has been known like for Thailand to be famous for this is going away, right? The respect. Sometimes the things that haven't changed are things worth protecting the most. And at the beginning of this episode, I said I'm going back to Thailand to watch how Muay Thai is changing. But maybe the more interesting question is how is Muay Thai changing me and my influence? Because every time I go back, I come home looking at the art and I'm rolling it a little bit differently. Every trip leaves me with more questions than answers. And honestly, I think that's actually a good thing because Muay Thai isn't something you ever really finish learning. And the moment you think you got it all figured out, the art has another lesson waiting for you. I'm excited to see what those lessons are this time. And I can't wait to bring them back here to the podcast. Right. And just to be totally transparent, Muay Thai is a money sport. It's a money sport. That's what it is. It's about gambling. It's about that shit. I've seen some fucked up stuff in Thailand. And a lot of people might not understand it. And to see what it's become, at least here in the West and from the influence of the West, I think it's pretty dope. Right? I like to see it. Promotions, ranking systems. I like that. It's going to help the sport continue to grow. There's a careful balance though, right? So if you've trained in Thailand before, I'd love to hear from you. What's the biggest lesson you brought home that had nothing to do with technique? And if you've never been, what's one thing you've always wondered about training in Thailand? Leave a comment down here on the video or call or text the podcast hotline at 805-456-3316. I had people, Jonathan, what do I do when I call that number? You're just going to get a voicemail. You leave a message. I'll play that message out on the air. So while I'm here, also follow us at Muay Thai Podcast on Instagram, Pu'u Muay Thai on TikTok, all other social media platforms. And while I'm also here, I'd love to answer some of your questions in the future episodes. And maybe even bring some of them into the next Global Muay Thai Roundtable. I'll definitely be linking up with Joe Comerford out there while I'm over in Bangkok. So maybe your questions become part of that conversation too. And as always, make sure you subscribe to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast for more conversations about training, culture, and the ever-evolving world of Muay Thai on a global scale. I am pumped. With that said, I will see you in the next episode. All right, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast. If you enjoy the content, go leave a review over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Give us a rating. It means the world to us. Also, if you want to be a guest on the Pu'u Muay Thai Podcast, or if you just want to shout out to your friend, go check us out at podcast.puumuaythai.com. You can submit to be able to be a guest on the podcast. You can submit what you want to talk about. Also, if you want to just give a shout out, there's a button for that too. Sawadee Kop.